used to think that Louis was a victim, and now I'm realizing that he's a pick-me. He needs love, validation, security, and will do anything to achieve that, including throwing Claudia under the bus. I'm sorry it took so long. I was a little sick, but I got a lot to say about episode 3 of Interview with the Vampire. So spoilers if you aren't up to date. Listen, I know Lestat is trash. I understand that. But the man is a star, and it is not hard to understand why people fall in love with him. Lestat shows how easy it is to fall into an abusive relationship. If I met this man in any century, I'd be a part of whatever coven he had going. What I found the most interesting about the Lestat Armand origin story was that Armand's first thought was to own him. He was bored and he wanted a new lifestyle, one that Lestat was currently living. I think Lestat knew that, which is why he did this entire scene, which was ridiculous, but so on brand for Lestat. Because Lestat is used to getting everything he wanted, and so is Armand. And one big difference that I saw between Lestat and Armand versus Louis and Armand is that there is a huge power dynamic between these two. Louis is afraid of Armand and reveres him. There is just a deference here that we don't see between Lestat. Lestat and Armand just used each other until they didn't need each other anymore. But let's be real, Armand hated the fact that he couldn't control Lestat the way that he can control Louis. And to this day, I still see that resentment in him. Armand only knows how to interact with people through intimidation. We see it both in the past and in the present. To Daniel walking into him floating, looking through books. Why is the bookshelf up there? The people who clean cannot dust them. So he can float around and exert his power at all times, including to his staff. Because if you notice, Real Rashid mentions to Daniel that Armand could kill them all at any time, but chooses not to. As if it's something to be applauded. Like technically anyone has the capability of killing people they're in the room with and they choose not to. The bar is in hell. Boy, are they playing in my girl's Claudia's face. And she is so thirsty for connection and community that she's letting them. Claudia used to be so astute and intuitive, particularly with people's motives. But now that she has what she wants, she is willing to toss that to the wayside. They made her take an oath in which she named children vampires abominations that should be killed, which she herself is a child. Once again, I have to say the aging up is really doing a disservice to the story, but the impact is still there. This is an eternal child who at this point has a mind of, I think, like a 50-year-old and is finally in a place where they're respecting her as an adult. Now, Armand is fake as fuck for telling Louis Claudia's mind is gonna scramble, like she's not gonna be here for long, and then giving the okay for her to play an eternal child. When they announced her role, I was so angry because even she knew that they were playing in her face. But she's new to the community and she wants to pay her dues. And just seeing the unbridled joy of this woman doing the grunt work of this troupe, knowing that this is just them playing her, really, it really got to me. It made me hate Louis even more because he's realizing that what Lestat said about these vampires is true. They are vicious and mean. And once again, he is willing for Claudia to go through this abuse so that he can be happy and in love. It's very telling that in the episode where Louis and Armand finally kiss, that Claudia also recounts the abuse that she suffered with Lestat. Louis will always choose love over Claudia. That may be her downfall. This is quite literally the story as old as time. This episode reframed Louis from the victim to a willing participant to years of abuse, while also showing the insidious nature of Armand. So Daniel may have an ally to help uncover whatever shady shit Armand got going on, which, you know, is important or will be important, but didn't stand out in this episode. Either way, this show did it again. I give this episode 5 out of 5 Frankie Flames off of Sam Reed's performance alone. But let me know your thoughts of this episode in the comments below. And until next time, have a fantastic week, my friends.